My name is Emma Baines, and I recently passed the SQE assessments on my first attempt. I graduated with my LLB from the University of Cape Town in South Africa in 2018. I thereafter did articles, practical vocational training with the Legal Practice Council in South Africa. I then got admitted as an attorney and a conveyancer and a notary. So I've been in the legal profession for about 4 years now after graduation. I currently work in a small firm in Cape Town, and I do a little bit of everything at my practice. I do general litigation, estates and trusts, also work with some family law, evictions, commercial and contract law. I wanted to take the SQE in order to broaden my legal horizons and also just give myself the option of practicing in the field that I love in law if I ever do decide to relocate out of South Africa. I decided to take a preparation course because I wouldn't have known where to start without it. I just didn't think there was any other way of preparing for the examinations on my own. However, I decided to go with QLTS because it seemed like the best fit for me personally, just on the plans that they had available. Also did quite a bit of comparative research in the companies in this sphere and decided that QLTS, with the options that they provided and the way their program was structured, it just suited me in a way that the others did not. I had a good experience studying with QLTS. Despite how stressful it was studying and working full-time, I found that the content and the layout of the materials, both the books and the online materials, was really helpful and just overall a good experience studying with QLTS. I found the online mock examinations to be the most beneficial for me personally. It enabled me to really test what I know and isolate the areas where I was struggling, and it just helped me feel prepared for the examinations because I felt like I knew what to expect in terms of the questions, the style of questions, and the difficulty level. I spent quite a lot of time preparing for the SQE. I started studying in April part-time. I would study on weekdays after work, about 3 to 4 times a week, for 2 or 3 hours a day, just depending on how my work day had gone. However, I did dedicate my entire weekends to studying for the examinations, and I would study from 9 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon, or for as long as I could, and that's really where I got the bulk of my work done. My firm was really supportive of my studies once I'd explained to them why I wanted to write the exam and what my intentions were in writing the exams and why I needed to study and how much time I needed. They were really, really supportive in terms of also giving me leave in December and January to enable me to study full time and really put my best foot forward for the exams. I felt as prepared as I was ever going to be. It's a lot of content, a lot of information. It can be quite overwhelming. So I felt I'd covered everything to the best of my ability and that the materials that I had on hand, especially the mock examinations, were extremely helpful in terms of expectation of questions, style of questions, and difficulty level. So when it came down to the exam itself, I felt that I was prepared as I was ever going to be. A preparation course is absolutely essential, just because of the sheer amount of content and the structure that it provides you. I wouldn't have known how to do the exams without the preparation course. The SQE1 preparation course was, I think, the best investment I ever made. I haven't written SQE2, so I can't comment on that, but I'm sure it's just as helpful. My advice to people who are considering taking the SQE is to just go for it. Rather take the plunge now while you're thinking about it than sit on your heels and don't do anything. The more you think about it, the more intimidating it gets. For those who are currently preparing for their SQE, you can do it. It's super intimidating really, but when it comes down to it, it's a worthwhile experience. You learn so much about yourself as well as the English legal system. And then I would say you should start studying quite a few months in advance. It just also depends if you are working full-time or studying something else, or whether you are able to dedicate yourself to your studies full-time. For me, I started studying in April, part-time, when I could, on weekends and after work, and then I studied full-time basically for the whole of December and January. To be a successful solicitor today, one has to be quite creative. You have to be a problem solver and think outside the box to find the best solutions for your clients. There's always a solution to something, even if it's not necessarily the most straightforward one. I'd also think it's really important that we show a lot of compassion and empathy to our clients who probably for the first time in their lives are dealing with the justice system and legal proceedings. For us as attorneys, we deal with the law every day, we deal with legal proceedings every day, and it's just, it's become normalized. But to a lot of people, most people actually, it's their first experience with that, and it can be quite daunting and overwhelming. So I think it's really important that we have that compassion and understanding.